And we are live. All right. Whoa, hello. Wait a minute here, guy. Let me just adjust this, put that there. All right, episode 8, Siddhuey Reviewy. Today's subject is it's summer, baby.
It's a fucking summertime sport, bro. It's the American pastime for the summer, so it's appropriate that we would kick it off on like the hottest day of the year.
So far in the bay.
Yeah, so far it's 95 where I'm at. Where are you at? I love when it's a super hot day. I always like check the weather over and over, like it's 94, 94. Oh, what is it now? I don't know what you guys got over there,
Let me
but
see, let me see, let me see.
hot as balls. It's gonna be 100 tomorrow. They say.
93.
Wow, a degree off.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be like 100 tomorrow. They said
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that.
that's gonna be crazy. But yeah, summertime, bro. Baseball,
So
the sport.
MLB baseball, we've been talking about this episode for quite some time, and we're finally here. We are talking baseball today, folks. Um, Not only are we talking baseball, but we got a little tier list. Our first time, I think, here on the Siddhuey Review, we will be doing a baseball themed tier list. So that will be fun as well. But let's jump right into it. Let's not keep the shuckaroonies. I have one mistake. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. There we go. Huh. Had a little mistake, but it's all right. We fixed it, and here we go. All right. So to do our first topic on today's MLB themed episode is the rule changes that they have done this year in 2023. A lot of them, or not a lot, a couple big ones.
Yeah, like the one that I know of is really the time change, like the pitch clock, right? That basically speeds up pitchers in every single pitch. Have you watched any baseball games this year?
I
Like,
have I've watched
all the way
a
through?
little bit of a game. I haven't watched a complete game.
So I don't know if you noticed. Like, I was watching the game from home. I think from TV. I don't know if you're watching it
Same
on
here.
TV.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they have a little pitch clock that's up there. And you'll see it like as soon as the ball goes from the catcher to the pitcher, the pitch clock starts, right? And for me, it was kind of cool. Like the first time while I was watching the A's play, they were getting killed by I think the Royals or something. But like it was really cool to see the game speed up, and I genuinely felt that it was faster. Now, at the time when I was watching the early season, there's no data at that point to suggest it, but the data has also borne out that like they are way faster the games now than they have been the previous couple of years. Per the Guardian, they are now 2 hours and 40 minutes the average games this year, which has not been seen since the early 1980s. Last year it was average time of 3 hours 6 minutes, and in 2021 it was 3 hours 11. So we're down like a half hour basically on these games, right? That's huge, bro. And like, I just think also it's pretty cool when the pitchers like mess up and they don't throw in time. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Like, they get called a ball, right? In those situations, and it's really like the A's guy messed up once, and I think they actually walked in a runner from home because that was the fourth ball. So like, there's some pretty interesting things that come with the pitch clock, and there's like this is like the first week of the season, right? So it's not like everyone had fully adjusted to it, but it's made the game faster, and we're going to touch on this when we get to like Shohei Otani, who spoiler alert we're going to talk about in the show. But like, it's made the games faster, but it has not for me in like changed how much I want to watch baseball. Like, I'm not more interested in baseball than I was before, and part of that is while they have improved in the sense that the gameplay now is faster. The problem is and this has been an issue that's unrelated to the rule changes. It's because of analytics, right? So the one thing is the ball isn't in play as much because nowadays, like with the analytics, they teach you like either swing for the fences, like go for a home run, or strike out. There's no in between. The idea of kind of playing like when we were growing up, like small ball, right? Like hit a line drive, get a guy on first, move him over to second, right? Sacrifice, fly a guy in from third. Like the way that we understand baseball has kind of changed. Now they're just kind of like swinging for the fences. That's why all these guys are really big now. and like they're just like these jacked up dudes because they're just hitting for power, basically,
Yeah.
right? Um, so like yes, the time has improved the game speed, but it hasn't for me changed my viewing. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like for example, we talked about this like I told you like yeah, the games are faster, but you also haven't like been more interested to watch them. You know, which I think again it's an improvement for baseball, but it's like I don't know how they can improve the fact that the ball isn't in play as much because the analytics will never tell you to play a different way. So how do you change that? You know what I mean? Like how do you get people to play differently? But I don't know. That to me has been
But
something
real
that I
quick,
yeah, go ahead.
it's hard for someone like myself and you probably to feel. I mean, this is gonna be one of our topics too. Obviously, our beloved local team is in a bad place. The thing about professional sports that's difficult is when your team's not winning, especially as you get older. I've noticed it's harder to spend that time. Not that I don't care, but like I know we're gonna get destroyed. Am I really gonna waste 2 hours watching us get destroyed? I don't care enough about baseball to watch other players. Basketball is a little bit different for me because once again, it's more of a celebrity sport where one player could really stand out and we all are going to follow LeBron James. So if LeBron's playing the Warriors, I'm a Warrior fan. I'm going to watch that game. I'm partially also watching to watch this superstar, play on the court as well. Baseball, I feel like that's the one thing that's really hurting it on top of all of this is there's not one celebrity player really in particular that I can think of. Mike Trout, I guess, would be the one that comes to mind. That's been the biggest name in the last few years. Like, am I going to watch the A's play? Is he still in the Angels right now?
Yeah.
Right? Am I going to
Mhm.
watch the A's play the Angels just to see some Mike Trout? Because I know we're going to lose to the Angels. But am I tuning in just to watch Mike Trout the same way I would tune in to the Warriors versus the Lakers to maybe catch LeBron? I know that's a bad example because the Warriors obviously are pretty good. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of, I don't know. That's how I personally feel. And I'm not saying that's for everyone, but that's how I personally feel.
So there's a couple things. One is the point about like enjoyment of the sports. Like you mentioned, like if the A's are good, I'm going to be watching, right? So like baseball has largely always been very regional. Like its interest is regional, and for some people, they generally love the sport. Other people, it's like, well, that's just the home team, and I want to watch something in summer, so I'm going to watch them, right? Like I think the thing about baseball is it's not enough for them, and we're gonna touch on the superstar thing. We might actually want to move up the Shohei Ohtani piece before the A's thing because that'll tie into the superstar discussion.
Yeah, I can do that.
Like, but as far as like, let's just stick us for a second to the team side, like enjoying the sport itself, right? Any sport, I think, to be truly like really robust, it needs to have a national interest. And the superstar is one part, but it's also like the interest in the actual game. I feel like baseball is losing that because, and this is just a guess. I have nothing to back this up, and I didn't even send an article about it because no one has. I haven't read anything that agrees with me on this, right? But like my thing is, one about what I just touched on was the ball in play. The ball isn't in play as much. It's either a strikeout or it's a home run. So you're just not seeing the game of baseball being played. You know what I mean? Like just seeing people on base and like just the threat of a runner on first who could steal second, right? And tying to that, because they're now just swinging for the fences, all these dudes are really big. And I contend that the baseball players that we, myself, you, Addy, who might be watching, or whoever else, like
He
the
is.
baseball, okay, but the baseball players that we love the most are athletic ones. Guys who did relatively flashy things. Again, the pitchers are different, right? We're gonna like pitchers for different reasons. But I'm talking about Ricky Henderson, right? Ozzie Smith was such a
Coco.
cool player. Coco, right? But like if you think about it's like Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Right? It was the athleticism in center field. What kind of catch would he make? Right? Right? What kind of catch would he make? Kirby Puckett back in the days. I remember him being like a guy I really enjoyed, watching play. Right? I mean, even more recently for the Twins in outfield. Remember Torrey Hunter
Mm.
was really popular for a period of time. Right? We
Reddick.
like Reddick. I mean, yeah. kind of.
I mean, when he was in the A's, once he left, he kind of fell off a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
mean,
But
a better A's example might be Tejada,
Tejada,
right?
yeah,
Miguel Tejada, who was like a pretty good player at that shortstop position, right? You think about like again, it's the players who make the athletic plays. Remember when Yasiel Puig just recently, like well, I think we say recent, probably a decade ago now. But remember when he like popped up on the scene, and it was like, bro, look at this dude fucking throwing the ball like from the right field wall all the way to home. You know what I mean? Like running the bases like a madman. It was the athleticism that we enjoyed, right? It wasn't just the sheer power and then like walking the bases. You really enjoy the athletes. Now I know this the home run chase with McGuire and Sosa was really big. Barry Bonds became a huge deal going after the home runs for sure. And I'll
cheating.
always whatever cheating though it might be. Barry Bonds to me was the most exciting thing in baseball. Like for his when he was at his peak, it was unbelievable. But for the
The
most
stadium had a shallow side to do so he could hit those. We all know that I'm not even
part,
going to talk about the drug allegations. I'm fine with that. The stadium thing was a little overboard.
regardless, like, look, the point was, I think for the most part, baseball's at its best when it has athletes doing exciting things. We have replaced those athletes with big robots who swing for the fences and do crazy things, right? To that point, Shohei Otani is one of those big dudes, right? But like to me, if the game was more athletic, if the game involved more base stealing. In fact, last night before I watched the Sandlot again, I hadn't seen it in a while, so I wanted to watch it again. So like in the end, you'll see Benny the Jet stealing home, right? Like these are things that you don't see anymore. Now, granted, stealing home was never a common thing, but you would sometimes see that, right? You would see people steal bases more often. You would
Ricky
see kind of
Henderson.
like yeah, you would just see the kind of the ball in play more. And I don't know, I'm not trying to be redundant, but like that to me, I think is something that the game is losing, and that's the interest. Now to the other aspect of this, which is the superstar part that you touched on, right? About like there's a LeBron, I'm going to watch him, whatever it is. So we can bring up the Shohei Otani thing. I don't. Okay, Shohei Otani is basically like
Oh, you
God.
want me to move to that real quick?
Yeah, let's just talk about
Because I
this
think
this
there's some other there's the pitch timers. Really, what you touched on, right?
Oh, yeah, and that's yeah. What was the other like? I mean, that's a big rule to me that has changed it. I don't know if you have another one that you think of that you know
Well,
is a
there's
big
bigger
rule to me.
bases. The bases have increased in size. It
Yeah,
sounds like.
I mean,
I'm just
and
seeing
that
what's been written
yeah,
here.
no, that's true. In fact, if you I watched a what you would call it.
And well, real quick,
So
Sidhu, and the last one is that these are the two other major changes: defensive shift limit. I'm
yeah,
just now seeing this for the first time.
that's right. I remember that too. Actually, now you're jogging my memory. So the basis thing, it looks funny if you see the picture of them side by side. And one looks like just a fucking huge pizza, like something insane. Like it just looks like a massive thing compared to the other one. But I get it's for player safety and things like that, so that makes sense. Right? The whole point of it is that the base was too small, so that when the pitcher's foot and the runner's running on there, right, there could be an issue of injury. So by expanding the base, you allow for safety, which that's also true. I also think, and this is just a total fucking guess, I haven't seen anything backing this up. Like if the base is bigger, it's also easier to get people out because now as a first baseman, you are closer to like the third baseman or the shortstop throwing you the ball, right? So
Yeah,
like technically, you probably get people out more. You know what I mean? Like
it's
I
not
don't know.
that much bigger, but I get what you're saying. I have the image on
It's
screen
enough.
right now.
Yeah, it's enough. I feel like the defensive shifts, like yeah, maybe they've changed, but I didn't. I didn't. Again, to me, the defensive shift changing is a good thing because again, they're recognizing the ball isn't in play as much, right? That's the whole point of change of limiting the defensive shifts. How many times, like I remember, like you watch like postseason baseball back in the day, and like there'd be a left-handed hitter, and like the entire like team is just shifted, to like right field, right? It's just like everyone shifted. All they're doing is throwing this dude like inside, so he has to pull this shit. You know what I mean? Like right field, whatever. So like I think that's good that they're recognizing that it has to shift. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the baseball rules are going to shift the game that much because the analytics suggest to us playing one way. And if the math is suggesting one thing, the teams are going to play that way. So while you might have some improvement with the shift, it's not going to be sizable enough to me. You know what I mean? Like the game has shifted too much in a direction that I don't really like. You know what I mean?
I didn't realize. I'm looking. I just read what that rule is. That's interesting. I didn't know that they. To be honest, the pitching clock was such a big deal. I didn't realize that they did these other two things this year. So this is a big year in baseball, though, for rule changes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think the pitch clock to me is the biggest one because
Yeah.
because remember, like the whole like the romantic line of baseball is baseball doesn't need a clock, right? It's just romance. You just watch it and it just goes about its business. And like in the world now that we live in, where like people don't even want to watch like 30-second videos because it's too long, right? They want that shit shown in like 15 seconds. Like, I'm sorry, baseball, you just can't be this meandering ass sport. Now, I will say, in fairness to them, like in fairness to baseball, college football takes like 3 hours plus every fucking time. And that thing is growing faster than you could believe. You know what I mean? But I think that's just Americans' appetite for football. You know what I mean? Like kind of just shining through there. And people will watch any type of football if you give it to them. You know what I mean? Like we're just starved for football in this country.
Yeah.
That's just what we are. I don't know.
We now have 2 leagues going as well. I think the XFL did pretty decent this past year.
One of them is failing. I don't know if it's the AFL or the XFL. I think it might be the one, wherever the Rock one is. Like they didn't make any money.
Oh, really?
Year.
That's him then. Yeah.
It's a Rock one that's failing, I think. It might be both. I mean, like, part of it is you have to have some quality out there, right? And, like, the thing with college football is you can always sell it to people like, hey, these dudes will eventually be in the NFL, right? So, like, this is the prime, like, group of players right here that you're watching.
Also, bro, you have a lot of states and areas that don't have a professional team that the colleges are able to get the locals behind and stuff. College sports has a lot going for it, in every, not just football, but basketball. And I mean, look, girls sports are, I think, more popular in the college level than they are in the professional level. Wouldn't you say? Like, I feel like last year, especially, we saw more about college girl basketball than we saw about the WNBA.
Yeah, we did. But I also think that's not just you hit the right point. It's about the college football and college sports is one of the few places where like true fandom exists.
Yeah.
Like people are really like tribalistic about their like college, their college.
If they went there, yeah.
And especially when it comes to college football, especially the South, right? Like their identity is within that like college football team. You know what I mean? Like those are obsessed with it and shit. So yeah, that happens. The thing with the college basketball, though, I'll say this. This is my take, so please feel free to disagree. Basketball now is largely just a black sport, right? Like pretty much everyone is that's great is a black player, except for like Jokic
or European,
yeah, or European. But there's not like an American white player, or whatever it is, like is killing it, right? And if they are an American white player that is killing it,
Tyler Hero.
but if they are an American, yeah, Tyler Hero. But if they are an American white player that's killing it. They're not the kind of American white person who like goes to Bass Pro Shops and goes fishing. They're generally a white person who's trying to like be in the hip hop. They're trying to like a Jack Harlow or something. You know what I mean?
Let's say Eminem before we say Jack Harlow. Come on now, okay, Jack Harlow. But you're probably right. You're probably right.
Because it's the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like, it's the aesthetic of like, no, I'm super in this rap hip hop world. You know what I mean? Like that's what these American white guys go into, right?
And Eminem always also seemed like he was creepy a little bit, where Jack Harlow seems more like, I can hang out with you, Drake.
Like you could see how like in Eminem's closet he'd have like a pair of Dickies or Jinkos, whereas like I feel like Jack Harlow would only have like fucking designer shit like nudies jeans and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like super
Tom Ford,
like up in like, Tom Ford, sure, whatever. But like the thing with college basketball, I was gonna say is like there was a great white player, an American white player, and then you had sort of the black team on the other side that was kind of brash and like a contrast to like the white team, which actually was also brash kind of, right? To me, it felt like the racial component there a largely black team from Louisiana playing a largely white team from Iowa, right? With the Iowans known as the underdogs. So the white guys have to overcome the fucking black girls to win. That storyline, bro, that is catnip to fucking sports
Oh,
fans.
this is last year's basketball.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I didn't follow it. I just kept seeing
You
it
didn't
on it,
follow it,
but
bro?
no. Okay.
But if you
I
if you look at the social media discourse and shit, that to me was like that was what was fueling it.
okay.
But it was this race component, and the racial component was really even added on to the end of the game because if you remember, I mean, like I'll do this really shortly. If you remember, like the black team wins, the black team, but the Louisiana State team wins, and one of the black women
Oh
on the
yeah, with
team
the hand
trashed.
motion. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. And it became, but it was a racial war, bro. That fueled that shit. We don't have that going like in other sports. So that's a tribalism of that sport, right? That's the whole point. That's what kind of gets college football going, even those 3 hours. And we brought this all bullshit up because we wanted to talk about why baseball wasn't really like having the same kind of hold on the national audience, right? And you talked about the superstars. Shohei Ohtani.
Wait, can I ask one question before you get into that? Because is there a professional women's baseball league?
Softball?
Is there but I know that's popular with college. Once again, college.
I don't
Is there a
think there's
professional league?
softball league.
Right? They just play college and then they're retiring, right?
They play Olympics, I think.
They do Olympics.
Don't they do Olympics?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. They do Olympics. I'm pretty sure you're right on that.
Yeah.
All right, you could. I was just asking because we were. Yeah. Okay, so before we move on to that other subject, boom, boom, boom. That's the whole new 3 rules. You got your 3 rules: bases bigger, outfield rules, and we got of course our pitching clock. Real quick before we jump into this, I will say, Siddhu, and I know, you might know a little bit about this, but quite a few years ago, might even have been closer to 10 at this point, they switched the rules of cricket in Australia, and they made it 20. I think it's called 2020 now. It's not
like a 1 day. Yeah,
it's a 1 day game. It's a lot shorter. It's not a 3 day week.
It's super popular,
and it's become a lot more popular in Australia. I personally believe, and I've been to a game to see my team. I forget the name of them, but whatever Perth is. We went to a game, and I've been to a game both ways too. I went to a game early 2000s when I first went to Australia. Well, first one as an adult, to the old stadium, and then I've been to the new stadium in Perth. I don't. There's names for both those stadiums. Do not remember. And the new stadium and like how it's huge and fancy, and it's now the 2020 version, and the intensity of that. Way more fun, the shorter version.
Yeah.
Way more fun. Just the crowd getting into it, everything about it is a lot more fun with the shorter version. I think baseball, MLB, maybe they didn't, but maybe they took note of those changes that they've made in other countries with cricket. Because a lot more countries also play cricket than they play baseball. It's like us in Japan. With cricket, it's what? England, Australia, India are the 3 majors, right?
England, Australia, India, but then you saw like Pakistan, like Sri Lanka is really good. Like,
there's a lot of countries playing cricket. There's a lot of countries.
Yeah. But the traditional powers are usually Australia, India, and I think England.
Yeah, because that's usually the 3 that are in the FIFA World Cup or whatever.
Yeah, and they're usually pretty much alternate. South Africa is actually good too, but I think Australia and them always win. Like it's always Australia or India or something.
They love that shit, dude. They love that shit.
Huge.
Yeah,
it's India. It's like it's the game.
It's the game.
It's like you try to cricket like how it's better now at the fucking 2020 whatever it is. Like my dad's hella old school. He's like, I like the older style where it's a little bit longer. You get more gameplay. And I'm like, Dad, you're the only fucking old man who fucking thinks that shit.
They would take like a half-day break and then come back later that night. It's like a tea break. Like no need. No. Like, is anyone working in this town? Like,
exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's 3-day games. 3 days for one game. It's insane.
No, they
gotta fix it. They had to fix it. They fixed it. MLB needs to do those same things, But the thing about it is we have so many other sports like football that we mentioned, like basketball, that those other sports are also, I think, taken away from the fandom. That Australia really has rugby, but they're kind of like how baseball and football is, where one's a winter sport, one's a summer sport. But our issue is that we have basketball, which kind of goes over the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a million other like tinier sports nowadays, and college sports are huge. Other countries don't have all those extra things that we have here in the States. That was my only. I just wanted to throw. I mean, they do, but not to the extent of us.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, but I think also like ultimately in this country, football is really the main driver of everything. And the problem with football is, whatever, depending on your viewpoint of football, is that shit starts in fucking August.
Yeah.
Because college football starts in August.
Yeah.
And that shit runs all the way through fucking February, which is a lot of fucking time when you think about it. You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of football that whole time, because all the way through the Super Bowl. And then you have the draft, which becomes a big thing too. So like football is really just, kind of monopolize the sports calendar, bro. I'm telling you, like, I knew it. They were going to take over Christmas Day. They have now Christmas Day from the NBA. They just took that shit from them. You know what I mean? Like, they're taking everything, bro.
But I'm gonna watch basketball. I'm never gonna watch football.
So am I. What I'm saying is, like, we may be the ones watching basketball, but the rest of the country is watching football. You know? It's just what it is.
I mean, basketball's a better sport, but that's besides the point. All right, we're on baseball. We've moved on to your guy. Your article here about this. Is he Angels?
Yes, Angels, and it's interesting. Earlier in the show, you mentioned Mike Trout. Like, oh, I remember Mike Trout. He's a great player. Like, this dude's better than Mike Trout, right?
His name's also just like he's Trout, like the fish. That's easy to remember.
Americana, right there. But like, Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball. He really came to like at least my world really actually in the World Baseball Classic that took place just a while ago. When everyone was like, I mean, I knew about him before then, but I didn't know he was like this guy until like he played in the World Baseball Classic and he was amazing and did all this incredible stuff. He's been in the league for a while now, and I have never watched a full game of him. And that's crazy because what this guy's doing is insane. So let me just read you a few numbers to kind of put in perspective what this guy is doing. He leads baseball in home runs and has the lead and is tied for the lead in triples. It's the first time since 1978 someone has led both those categories, right? So if we were just talking about a hitter, this dude is like a god tier hitter, like a bat, just a bat or whatever. Just in general, like just in a vacuum, he's fucking incredible at just like hitting the fucking baseball, right? He actually had a couple home runs. He had a 2 home run night the other night too. His numbers for the year: 309, 28 homers, 64 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, and his OPS is an absurd 1.048. Just as like an OPS over like 1 is pretty crazy. To have a 1.04 is just like nuts. And then, if that wasn't enough, Shohei Ohtani pitches. He's also a great pitcher. He's 7-3 this year with a 3.02 ERA, and he struck out 127 batters in 95 innings. This comes to mind because the other night, Shohei Ohtani in a single game hit 2 home runs and I think also had about 10 strikeouts in one game. This dude should be like a Tiger Woods-like figure where when he's playing, the nation should try to go watch that. Like, if you think about it, when Tiger Woods was at his peak, none of us, we didn't care about golf, but we cared about Tiger. Tiger was such a force that whenever Tiger was involved in a tournament, you wanted to go watch that. The ratings for, like, golf back in the day when Tiger was, like, involved in a final round were insane. Insane for golf, right? What this guy is doing, you should want to watch. You should want to see this guy play. This is kind of the problem with baseball. One is I don't know when he's going to pitch next and hit next. I have no clue. Like, it's not like a set schedule. Tubi, you talked about earlier about LeBron James. Like, the thing is, if you watch a Laker game or you watch a Warrior game, like Steph Curry, you know they're going to play like 30 minutes. 35, 40 minutes probably. Right? So if you, like, every night it's easy for you to just, like, turn on the TV and watch that. I don't know when Shohei Ohtani is going to play. So how am I supposed to know when to tune in? The other thing is, I'll ask you this. What channel 2B plays national baseball games?
TNT.
I didn't know that until just now.
right?
But like I think they do. I don't know if ESPN still does. Does Fox still do it?
Fox
Like,
Sports, I don't know.
but see, like
The
if
Fox
I
thing's a hard question to do because since Disney purchased everything but the news, I don't really know how that's all been panning out for them.
what baseball?
No, just in general, everything for them. Like they've kept a lot of shows on
Oh, okay.
FX, but a lot of
Yeah.
those shows also now moved over to Hulu.
But what I'm saying is, in terms of take the NBA. You know the NBA is on TNT and ESPN. It's you just know that that's where the national TV games are. You know it so much that you know to be that on Thursday TNT has their games.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
You know that's their day.
yeah.
You like right, so you even know the day that they broadcast. If as TNT broadcasts baseball, what day is their baseball day?
It used to be, I think,
What's
when
the
we were
national
kids, it was Saturday. It
Sunday?
was Sunday.
Sunday night baseball on ESPN was what I remember
Oh
as
no,
a
I meant
kid.
TNT.
Oh, see, I remember that on ESPN.
I just remember,
Sunday,
yeah,
Sunday night baseball used to be, to me, when I think of baseball and national shit like that, I always think of Sunday night baseball. Because Sunday night baseball, like you have the 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Sports Center, right? 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. you had baseball tonight. So you kind of get caught up on the league, what's going on, blah, blah. And then 5 o'clock you transition into baseball that night.
yeah,
And it was a national game.
yeah.
Right, and it was like, okay, who are the teams that we're going to be watching tonight? That's usually when I would check in and kind of like figure out what's going on with baseball. Those
Okay.
national games, right? They don't have Sunday night baseball now. I don't think, or if they do, they certainly don't promote it in the same way. Or I'm not watching it to the same level. If TNT has a night where they do baseball, what night is that? I should know that. Like, it's not immediate to me to know these types of things about baseball. You know, baseball is so regional. I know when the A's are probably going to be on, but I have no idea of like when other shit is on. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think baseball is an issue with that too. But the superstar point, Shohei Otani's balling. He's having an incredible year. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's
Go ahead.
Tuesday. I googled.
Okay.
It's
Tuesday.
Tuesdays. Tuesdays is
Oh.
actually, and it's not TNT anymore. It's still Time Warner. It's TBS. TBS is Tuesdays. For instance, Tuesday will be LA Angels versus San Diego Padres. The following Tuesday will be the LA Dodgers versus the Baltimore Orioles. The following Tuesday after that, July 25th, will be the New York Mets versus the New York Yankees.
That's it. And you know, speaking of teams that are like just kind of interesting, the Mets had an amazing offseason. I was so impressed with all the shit they did, spending all this money, pissing off other owners, and now they're struggling and they're unlikely to make the playoffs. So that sucks for the Mets. But yeah, anyway, my point about Shohei Ohtani, he's not a superstar. I don't know why they can't really create superstars in that sport. I think it has to do largely with the fact that we just don't care about baseball in general. And then you don't know when you're going to see these superstars, like what game, all that kind of stuff. So I think all that impacts like watching the games and why people don't care about baseball. But
let me come in real quick, Siddhu, because you brought up this TV thing, and I'm very intrigued by it. Just to point out, like today, all the games are on. One game's on TBS, the rest are on MLB TV, right? It's just interesting. I've seen a Wednesday game on ESPN Plus, right? But I noticed down here, and this is the part that caught my eye, there are some games, the Diamondbacks versus the Angels tonight is on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, they sold their stuff to streaming. I know that was a big thing that happened. And, you know,
Fox is still up in there too.
That's going to happen, I think, with certain things. But, bro, I keep coming back to it. Like, if you're baseball, you need to grow your sport a little bit. You know, you're not in you're like if NFL goes to streaming, which in a lot of ways kind of might be going that direction, that's okay. Wherever the NFL goes, people will follow. If there's a streaming service called fucking Drasana streaming service, right? Like if that's like a streaming service, right? And football was like NFL's like we're going to that streaming service, everyone will buy it. Even if you don't have it now, everyone's gonna buy it. So football is going to have like a clout like that to go to streaming. If you're baseball, you should probably stick to network TV and kind of try to push that. But I don't know, whatever. But yeah, baseball is it's just I don't know. I don't have much more to say about it. Like it's just
Or do you have anything else you want to say about? So really wanted to show this guy and his accomplishments and make the point that this kind of shows where baseball's at, where we have a stud, a baseball stud out here, and he's not really getting the love that he should, where he should be on par with your Currys, your LeBrons, your as in basketball, in football, he should be almost a Tom Brady in that sense. Like he should be this celebrity icon, and he's really not getting the respect. And that kind of overall shows where baseball is in general.
yeah, exactly. And to that point, really quickly, like we're in the summer, there's nothing going on, and still no one really wants to talk about him. That's a bad look for baseball. But anyway, let's go to these A's.
Okay.
So I'll
Well, or
start
no,
talking.
our next article was the pitch
You're right
perfect.
now?
The pitch.
Mhm.
No, it's the pitch perfect. You submitted this one. It is pitch
It's the
perfect.
A's. Yeah,
And
the $1 thing with the A's.
no,
Yeah.
wait, what? This has
A
nothing.
land deal, Las Vegas land deal with the A's, I think.
No. That's the next one after this. This one is. I mean, we could skip this one. This one has a dude from Philly. The article is pitch perfect. MLB's pace of play rules are showing
Oh,
that.
well, yeah. Yeah, we just move because we already talked about the pace of plays.
Okay, we're done with that one.
A's.
We're done with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We've talked about this once before because they had the boycott night where they all showed up, and that was a reverse boycott.
Mhm.
Clearly both of us, we grew up here, and we're both fans of the Oakland Athletics. I mean, we, it's just it's a sad subject to even discuss, in my opinion. It's very I wasn't obviously I wasn't as upset when the Raiders left because I'm not a huge NFL fan. I was pretty bummed when the Warriors moved, but that was more about my season tickets and stuff like that. It was a little bit different. It was a little bit more personal side, and they were not going that far. And I know I'm one of not too many who really cared.
Mhm.
But this final blow to the city of Oakland, and as an East Bay resident, I do consider this the final blow. We will, at this point, have no teams.
Yep.
And I think it it really sucks. Is the most I can say about it, and it makes me honestly, in a way, even. And I know I know I'm alone on this though. It makes me even turned off of the Warriors for them leaving Oakland because now I'm gonna have nobody. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but I do feel that way loosely to where I'm like, well, I'm just over all the team sports because no one's in the city that I beloved, which was Oakland. And it just sucks, man. It's a bummer. But dude, they in my opinion too, Siddhu, and you could jump in right after this. But in my opinion, as someone that me and Fats used to go to a ton of games, a crazy amount of games. And they traded away they've been trading away our best players and stuff like that. Ownership has been plotting this move for a decade, and I think that that's the article that really should come out, is the fact that like this, and I know the MLB commissioner said some dumb shit a couple weeks ago, and his statements are like, did you just get hired yesterday, dude? Because in my opinion, you're not seeing that this was obviously being manipulated for the last decade. Like, if we would have kept, I mean, dude, there's so many good players. Bro, it wasn't that long ago. It was in the last, I don't know, 8 years, less than 10 years, we were a wild card. And that stadium was popping for that wild card game. I was there. I sat upper deck for that wild card game. I'm a guy who goes to the games all the time. Not this year, but usually. And normally, I sit wherever I want because you could do that when you're an A's fan.
Mhm.
But I had to sit upper deck because that place was jumping for that wild card game. And now here we are, less than a decade from that time. And the fans don't care, this, that, the other. It's not necessarily that. It's that you've given us nothing to care about. You've shown the ownership that you don't care. And now you're making it seem like it's us who don't care, which is a shame. And they didn't lower prices. They took away free parking Tuesdays, which was called BART Tuesdays. I never understood that, because why, if it's free parking, why would I take BART? I don't know. That was always a weird one. They've taken away a lot of the cool deals. They upped the season ticket holder price this past year. They upped the season ticket holder price. I mean, there's been so much weird stuff. The other thing, too, is that the A's, from my understanding, Oakland did offer some land. It wasn't the land that the A's wanted. They were looking for any reason to get out of here. You know, so then for the commissioner to come out and say a bunch of wild statements, it's like, well, obviously you're in the back pocket. I think it's very clear that he's in the back pocket as well. I think that, you know, the thing that like a lot of people maybe that are younger than us don't realize is that Nevada, and Vegas especially, wasn't allowed to have professional sports teams because of the gambling. And it was like not allowed for a long, long time. That has been lifted. And ever since that has been lifted, we've seen NHL go there. We've seen the NFL go there. Clearly now the MLB is trying to go there. Shortly, I'm sure a team will leave somewhere from the NBA and will end up in Vegas as well. Because Vegas is a tourist town, right? So it's constantly got people coming in and out. They have conventions up the yin-yang. It's the convention center of the United States pretty much at this point, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of the food capitals of the United States for high-end restaurants now, and it's become the entertainment on top of being sports entertainment. It already had all the big shows and concerts all the time, so it's just becoming a tourist destination of the United States. And the big thing, sports gambling is super in right now. You got websites up the galore doing it, and I feel like that plays a heavy. And it's sad that the A's happen to be the team that's going to fall. Now, before I give the reins over to you, I will say, though, it is also, and I'm going to make an argument against myself. I'm going to play a little devil's advocate. It is kind of effed up that we sit here in the Bay Area, or we sit here in Los Angeles. Look, we sit here in California in general, and we're going to bitch about losing a team. You know, there's states here in the United States that don't even have a franchise, right? That they would really get behind because they have absolutely nothing in any of the major sports. We have, in baseball, we have 5 Major League Baseball teams here in California. 5. You know, so, you know, I can't be too upset. I think it's just a shame that now all the teams will be San Francisco or San Jose based, and I don't really live in either of those zones. That's kind of the reason I'm more upset by it than anything. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Siddhuey. You take the reins.
No, I like everything you said. I completely agree with. I mean, you know, I say we A's fans, this franchise has been treated like the movie Major League, where if you remember Major League, it's all about the owner trying to like tank the team on purpose and, you know, so I think it's eventually to sell the team or whatever it might be, or to move the team it might have been, I don't know. That's the same thing. Like they have tanked this, they have systematically ripped this team apart in order to gain the leverage needed to show the league, hey, we're not making any money here, so we need to move somewhere else, right? And like I said, you've been trading away all our best players. The team sucks, and you raise ticket prices. No owner that cares about their community or no team that cares about the community they're playing in would do that. No one. But you don't care. You're just trying to leave, and you're just trying to get reasons to leave. And the way you get these reasons to leave is say, hey, no one's showing up, no one's doing this, but you don't give us a team to cheer for. You know what I mean? Like you said, I think this owner, John Fisher, is like the worst fucking owner in like sports. Now, granted, I'm gonna say that because I'm biased and he's fucking over my team. I think your point about, you know, California already has enough teams, so what does it matter that losing the A's? California has a lot of teams.
I'm saying I feel. I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying it's. I know you're still upset they're losing, but like they're leaving. But I mean, yeah, I just think
we're more populated than any other state, so like we also have the numbers on people.
Like Oakland's still a pretty big city. I mean, it's a small city, but it's in a big area that like has an economic power to it still. That like you could drive. Like I said, if they had if there was a time, then this is reported, there was a time when they were thinking of doing something joint with the Raiders. This was before the Raiders had decided to leave. And Al Davis's son, I want to say Mark Davis, yeah, Mark Davis blames the A's in part for him leaving Oakland, the Raiders leaving Oakland, because they were such a stick in the mud during that whole time, kind of just trying not to get that project off the ground because they wanted to move themselves, right? So they just kept kind of like delaying it, fucking around, doing all this shit, and that was part of the reason why the Raiders moved. Now, the Raiders also moved for money too. Let's not be fucking dumb here, right? They didn't just move because of the A's. But this ownership group has helped also drive out another team that was there. The Warriors left on their own volition. That's whatever. But the the Raiders left in part because of what the A's were doing at that time. It fucking sucks.
But real quick, too, to be honest, let's not forget that the reason that stadium also kind of sucked visually is because of the Oakland Raiders. And the horrific thing that father-son duo, well, father first and foremost, because he was in charge at this point in time, is they increased the size of the stadium, blocking the beautiful view of the hillsides. And then they moved to Los Angeles for a few years. Then they moved back, and then they can't even sell the area that they built.
Yeah. Which
was a hideous area. Now, also, real quick, I have both the images of both the stadiums. Now, you tell me, my friends in the chat, which stadium looks cooler? Like, this beautiful, on the water, amazing looking, beautiful site here, or just another thing on the strip. Also, I hate to point this out too, and I know we're not, I shouldn't care at all about Vegas, but Vegas in general is starting to look more like Dubai than it looks like Vegas. And I find that to be kind of lame. Like, Vegas used to have personality and cool-looking shaped hotels, right? Now it just looks like New York City. Like, what happened, Vegas?
Because I feel like when you're building in a desert, right, you just have some limitations in terms of what kind of structures you can put together. And then if you're just that, but also to your point about why I'm not as weird anymore, if you are trying to become this high-end city with high-end restaurants, high-end shopping, all this kind of stuff, like those kind of quirky sort of things that made Vegas cool, like those are going to be gone.
Yeah.
Like I always think about it. The Tropicana hasn't survived, right? It's
long gone. Yeah.
I know, long gone. But I'm saying is like that's the kind of quirky, weird. You remember the Tropicana, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of quirky, weird building that wouldn't have a home in today's Vegas. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't look like it fits in today's Vegas, even though to me that's like quintessential Vegas is the Tropicana. You know what I mean? Like when I think of like old timey Vegas, I think of like the Tropicana. But in any case, like
Bellagio.
I think Bellagio for sure. The fountains and all of that. There's a lot of like hallmarks and everything there. But regardless, like. Yeah, look, Vegas is they're gonna attract fans there just because people are gonna be on vacation. They'll come watch the games and all that, but you won't have like a real fan base. Because I'll tell you this, I'm not cheering for that team when they go to Vegas. I'm not even cheering for that team now because I'm not cheering for that owner. I'm not at all like kind of buy merchandise or I haven't bought any A's. I'm thinking of buying something before they leave, like something Oakland A's-y. But like I don't know. I mean,
I will.
That owner.
I will still cheer for the A's, because I'm not going to cheer for the Giants. Not happening. Sorry, sweetheart. Not happening. Never. That's the one team. I'll cheer for the Niners way before I'll ever cheer for the Giants. No offense to it. But, I mean, the one thing I'll say about Vegas is because it is a tourist town to do, I don't have as much beef as if they were like, we're moving to Cleveland. Like it'd be granted, they already have a team, but I'm saying like, let's say they picked another Oklahoma, because Oklahoma doesn't have a team. Let's say Oklahoma or Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City have a baseball team? No, right? Let's say they were going to Salt Lake City. No, there's nothing in Salt Lake City. I'm not Mormon. There's no reason for me to cheer for Salt Lake City. Vegas, I can get behind. They're one state over. We share Lake Tahoe with them. I'm trying to justify it the most I can. you know, we have ties with Vegas. The reason we can't gamble here in California is because we have horse racing, they have gambling. If, from my understanding, if I'm incorrect on this, they can't horse race. Only we can horse race here in California. We have a friendship deal with Nevada. Nevada's kind of like California's little brother.
But you know, this is what I'll say. Like, I hear all that. I'm not going to argue that point about Nevada's relationship to California, but I'll say this about the A's versus the Raiders, right? The Raiders have retained a lot of fans who were here in Oakland, and even though they moved to Vegas. Now, I'll note, for example, my brother, he's still a Raiders fan, but he refuses to get any merchandise that says Vegas on it at all. Like, he will not buy. He won't ask. Like, he doesn't ask for it. He won't buy it himself. Like, no Vegas. So Sean, like my brother, for those, well, Addy knows, obviously he's watching. But like Sean only gets Raiders shit. Like, just says it's Raiders on it.
Yeah.
In fact, my mom, like, and he's super like laid back with the gifts that he gets. Like, yeah, it's cool, I'll take it, whatever. My mom one time bought him a Las Vegas Raiders shirt, and he's like, "Mom, sorry, I can't do this. You're gonna have to return this." It was the first time in his. It was the first time in his fucking life he told mom. Mom's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and he's just like, "It's okay, but I can't. No, we can't do Vegas. We can't do Vegas, you know." So, but the thing I'm gonna say is, the Raiders are a better brand than the A's. The Raiders are a brand that you can identify, and they have an image and like a feeling to them that the A's don't have. Like, the Raiders could be from Fargo, and they would still be the Raiders. They would still have this image of toughness and like grit.
The
And
A's
that,
had it in the 80s. They lost it.
but they might, yeah. They had this quirky attitude. They had the
Bash
A's
Brothers.
could have done something. Yeah, but bro, I hate this because the A's logo is not as iconic as the Raiders. You said this yourself. You're talking about Scooter. You're like, bro, there are people in France who fucking have Raiders shit.
Oh, dude, Australia
Like,
too. Raider shit
like,
everywhere.
You
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
You mentioned it to me when you go on your travel. Like,
Yeah.
you'll see Raiders shit, bro.
Raider shit everywhere.
Raiders is a brand, and that image, those colors, they just. I'm sorry, I like the A's, but they don't match up to the
But
Raiders,
don't you see a lot of rappers? I always see in rap videos, there's always a random guy rocking an A's hat.
Yeah, there
I
was
see
an
a
entire
lot of it.
There was an entire rap group that wore Raiders shit, and they're one of the most famous rap groups in fucking history. So the point is, like,
That's when they were in LA, though. That's when they were in LA. They were in LA, and where was the group from?
They were LA.
They were LA.
Compton.
They were
Compton.
right. If I'm not mistaken, let me look this up because I actually don't know where the Raiders played in LA. Did they play in Compton?
No, they played in the Coliseum. Remember, that was in oh my God, Pasadena.
How close is that to Compton, though? Like, what's the logo? What was the?
Bro, that's a distance. That's like a half hour, 40 minutes, bro. Like, the thing about it, and look, this is the point on the NWA connection to the Raiders, the group I was referencing. Ice Cube and all of them said, right? The Lakers were in LA at the time, but they always were Raiders because they go, the Raiders represented something different. The Lakers don't represent. The A's don't represent, like, the Raiders represent the underdog, the person who's been kind of looked over, the misfits, like that kind of thing. It just has an image, bro. So the A's don't match up to that. So the A's aren't going to retain any fans when they go to Vegas. No one gives a shit.
Me, but
you, but that's it. You know.
Hold on,
like,
let me get the logo. You're talking a lot, but let me show you one logo.
Okay. Let me see this logo.
This might be one of the greatest logos in baseball history.
Hey, but that's
94 to 2002. Why isn't it? Do you know what the logo is?
Yes, I know what the logo is. I know. I have the feeling I know what the logo is. But we had more than one logo that was good, bro.
Yeah. Okay. 93 to 94, we had just the elephant with the two bats, and then 94 to 2002, they had the sunglasses on, and it was just, man, that logo, bro. I have a hat that has that. It was one of my favorite hats. I mean, I wear the A hat all the time too. This one's actually a freebie that I got from one of the games a couple of years ago. And then the traditional one where it's standing on the elephant. Standing on the elephant, standing on the ball.
Yeah.
That one's classic. The jerseys, well, we'll get into that later. I get what you're saying. The Raiders have that badass logo that every badass wants to rock. And
yes. And silver and black. Just
Silver and black is a badass color.
Yeah.
And they were the bad boys of the NFL for so long. They still kind of are. They used to wear the eye makeup. Like there's
Black,
and I have to say NWA did them a favor because then they
did,
blow up in they blow up in success.
Yeah.
They're rocking the gear. Ice Cube still rocks the gear all these years later.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, I get it, Siddhuey. I get it. I get it. It's just it's a bummer. I'm still gonna be a fan because if I have to pick a team to be a fan of in the MLB, it's always gonna be the A's. I'm gonna love them. I'm going to hope that when we get old, they come back. You know, that's happened. Yeah. The Raiders came back for a little bit.
It's possible. I mean, you know, I don't know if they will, though, because I just don't know if the Oakland's going to be able to sustain it. But, you know, we'll see.
Like I said, too, man, Vegas is at least a city I might travel to. That's what I was trying to hint at, too, is that, like, there's other cities in America that I probably don't really have a reason to go to. Vegas had, like, my last Vegas trip, I think we went last year. Vegas, seeing concerts in Vegas is really cool because you can stay at a hotel. Like, it's just Vegas is a cool destination. I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. Great food. It's awesome concert experiences because you can hit the concert, party afterwards, go back to your hotel room. It's all right there, walking distances and stuff. True. It's very cool.
Yeah,
vibe.
but it's also 20 degrees when you're walking. But anyway,
bro, you barely go outside, Siddhuey. You barely go. We'll go to Vegas. We're gonna go to Vegas.
Well, we'll go to Vegas. We'll do it. But let's
once the A's move.
Do that.
All right. We're done with that. We did that. Yeah. We did. R.I.P. the A's. Okay, let's look at the standings right now, before we get into our tier listing. And I did find that other tier list if you are interested. All right, so right now it's looking like for the American League, it's Tampa Bay Rays, which
right now,
who would have thought?
Yeah, the fighting Orioles though, bro. They've been having a good season this year.
Yep. Yeah, you got Orioles. You got the Yankees, my grandpa's team. You got Toronto. Got Boston.
But now you're just listing the teams in the division. That's awesome.
Yeah. I realized that because I forgot it's by East, Central, West. A's in 21 and 62, just horrific numbers right here.
Worst team in baseball.
Yeah, worst team in baseball.
And to that point, really quick, Addy brought this up actually before the show. They just gave up a perfect game to the Yankees, and the pitcher who they gave the perfect game to the night before, or just in general on the season, had a 5.10 ERA and a 4.445 record, 4-5 record. So a terrible fucking pitcher they gave up a perfect game to. So awesome stuff for them.
Hey, they made his career, bro. He slept great that night. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then in the National League, we got the Atlanta Braves, and then in second place, we got the Diamondbacks and the Marlins tied.
Yeah, the Mets one is the most troubling one. Like I said, spent a bunch of money this offseason only to end up in fourth in their division right now, which is really sad. The Marlins are really interesting. The Cincinnati Reds, do want to give them a quick shout out really quick. I know they're sitting they're tied for first in that division. The Cincinnati Reds have a player by the name of Elly De La Cruz. Elly De La Cruz is electrifying. He's huge. I think he's like 6'5". He's like huge or something. But he's electrifying. So much so that you hit a grounder to third, I think, the other day, and he beat the throw to first. Like he was that fast on a routine grounder to third. He beat the throw to first. He's really fun to watch. I've never really seen him play. I've only seen the highlights, as we kind of talked about earlier. But shout out to him. This guy's a fun player. I think I saw a commercial with him the other day, so maybe his brand's a little bit expanding too. So shout out to Elly De La Cruz of Cincinnati.
All right, let's jump into it.
Okay.
We'll do best. I think we should. I think we should do best outfits, dude.
I would do mascots.
Mascots is difficult because I don't even know who I don't know who these. All right, we can do mascots. We'll save the other one. We're gonna have to do another baseball episode. It's summer.
Yeah, it's summer. We'll do one.
Fine.
We'll recap. Yeah.
So we're.
Yes.
Wait, let me see. If they don't have them, we're doing outfits. Is Stomper not even on here? Okay, there he is. All right. So we know S tier. Obviously, Stomper is S tier. We'll put him first and foremost. And the Giants dude is definitely in D.
Yes. We can put him in F, whatever the worst.
There's DD's the worst. All right. Are you
okay? Well, let's do the ones I think you and I are probably going to agree on. right? Philly Fanatic's got to be S tier, right?
Yep.
I think we all like when I think of American mascots, he might be the first name. Like obviously Stomper is going to have emotional attachment to me, so I'm going to think of him. But I'm saying if I were thinking nationally, like taking out my bias of local, like whatever bias is, I think Philly Fanatic is probably the number one mascot in sports. Who's topping him?
Stomper.
Like I said, I'm talking national level.
I
on a
have
national
pounded
level,
and stuff with Stomper many a times. A very friendly mascot.
he is a friendly mascot. But anyway, I think Philly Fanatic got to be S
He's
tier.
iconic. He's iconic looking. Yes.
Iconic. And another one that I think you and I will both agree on, again, for S tier mascot is the Met, Mr. Met or whatever the hell that little the baseball with the head. Remember, with the Mr. Met.
There's a Mr. and a Mrs.
Well, we want Mr. Met because that's the only one that I know.
What am I doing with Mrs.?
You know what? Let's not separate a husband and wife.
Also, it looks like the Cincinnati Reds also have the same icon.
They have a similar one, but it's a little bit different.
I got it here, Siddhuey. I don't know if you're looking. It looks almost identical.
It's hold on one second. I need to hop off really. Just I need to do something really quick. Hold on one second.
We've lost Siddhuey. All right, while Siddhuey's gone, I also think that personally, I think the Padres character is pretty awesome looking. I know Siddhuey's not here, but without Siddhuey, I'm going to say the Padre dude's also S. He's awesome. There's a lot of these that are just corny. Like this Texas one being a horse. What is that?
The San Diego Padres, I agree with you, is great, but Mr. Met should go there. Where are we on the horse? Mr. Red is who you're talking about, Cincinnati Reds. He's similar.
Well, there's a Mr. Red. There's an old school Mr. Red where he's got like a old school mustache.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
There's one where he doesn't.
Well, we're gonna put the mustache in S tier, and the one that doesn't, we're putting him in D.
Okay, what about the female version that kind of looks like the Cincinnati one too? I mean, it looks like we're putting both those in C.
Yeah, let's just look. That's fine. The other one.
The Padre guy is just classic, dude. I mean, they're called the Padres, and then they have this Padre dude. I mean, it's kind of controversial knowing what's happened here in the state of California with what the missions really represented was like them forcing, Christianity onto the Mexicans.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't. But yes, he's unique. He's unique.
He's super unique. He's just funny looking, so I gotta put him up there without the controversy to the side. And the Giants one too. I have to say this. I actually think that he should be higher. I was joking when I put him in D. I think he should at least be an A. And my reasoning for saying that is because he looks good, as well as that it makes sense because we have that animal right there in the bay.
He does fit San Francisco. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Yeah, he does fit San Francisco, but, he's a Giants.
All right,
all right, fine. Put him in it. No, let's be unbiased. Let's put him in
I'm trying to be unbiased. I was joking around. He should be in D. Okay. But also, I'm looking at a lot of the mascots, and a lot of these mascots are just, whatever. That's well, at least the Giants one kind of makes sense.
That's true. The Cubs one, the Bear Cub, he should be in last for sure, 100%. He should be a D because he looks really cheesied out. You know what I mean?
Cubs. Well, all right. Let me go. Detroit Tigers is the next one. It's really. Okay. I think at most it's a B. It's real generic looking.
He's just a tiger, so yeah, I go.
I mean,
B. That's
yeah. Then the next one is, I think it's the Indians, and it's thankfully they didn't go with what you think they would have went with.
What is it, the new one, or is it's the Guardians, right? Yeah, it's the Guardians one. Yeah, this guy. Oh, you know what?
That says Guardians. It's it's the same font as when it was Indians, huh?
Yeah, same font but different thing on there. Should say it's the new one. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, no,
looking
you're
at
right.
it.
It says Guardians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Guardians.
what is
I'm gonna go
that?
see. Yeah, that looks just stupid. I don't know what that is.
They
I
were
think
trying
that's
to
like
go with a Philly fanatic.
yeah, and they're trying to make something fuzzy that kids would like, and I'm not buying it.
The Royals,
I,
the Royals with the lion with the crown attached to his head.
yeah, what do you think about that one? I think to me that the crown is really unique, but it looks stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? It looks stupid. So let's give it a C for effort, but bad execution. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I said, see, it was a decent effort, but yeah, no.
And you got the White Sox.
Yeah, the White Sox. What do you think?
I just realized a lot of these are just knockoff Philly fanatics.
Yeah, because that's the most popular one, bro. So they're gonna copy that one, you know?
Yeah, that's why I think that I hate to say the Giants did it all right. Who's the dinosaur? CR, is that Colorado?
Is that? Yeah, it is Colorado. It is Colorado.
I gotta give
Rockies,
props to the dinosaur because it's just so effing random.
Well, now that you say it, the way that you mention it, okay, the two most popular MLB mascots are Mr. Met and Philly Fanatic. And all the teams that are basically either a derivative of Mr. Met or a derivative of Philly Fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those ones should definitely get downvoted for sure. And
Other than
like,
Stomper, the Tiger's Tiger, and and I forget what his name is, the Giants Sea Otter.
Lucille or something?
Yeah, it's Lucille. Yeah, it's Lucille. Lucille. It's a girl.
Yeah.
Lucille, the Tiger's Tiger, and Stomper are all three are pretty you know what? I'm bumping the Tiger to A. And also Cincinnati Red guy, based off what you just said, it bumps him down to B.
Yeah, to me, bro, I feel like these are all the ones that are he could put him to C. All the ones that are derivative of the Philly Fanatic should just be ranked lower.
But what about the Braves one? Like theirs is like a Muppet, but it's kind of cool looking, but it has the Philly Fanatic's nose as ears.
Yeah, I'm still gonna downvote it because it looks cool, but it's like, what does that have to do with the Braves?
So we'll go and C with him.
Yeah, put him down at like C or D, whatever. Yeah, C. With all the derivatives, C. I don't know. Yeah, either just like they're just shitty. It's almost like what Addy said when he was doing his tier rankings. It's like, is it good or is it not? Like it's kind of like one or the other. But anyway, I put it lower.
The Braves one's got to be a D, or the Brewers. My bad, the Brewers. There's got to be a D.
You think so? Like it is a super derivative of Mr. Met, right?
It's like Mr. Met humanized even more, where it's not even a baseball head. It's just straight up like, I don't even know. It's not good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move him out of there.
All right, White Sox dude. White Sox dude's a little bit interesting, bro. He's not as derivative of. I think White Sox dude's a B.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Okay.
I mean, he's still derivative. I'm disagreeing with that part of it, but he's one of the better derivatives. That's what I'd say. But he is derivative, bro. He has a fuzzy little thing. It's all about kids hugging the mascot. You know what I mean?
The Mariners Moose.
That's original.
It's original. I think it's got to be at least a B too. All right,
I'll give that a B. Let's give the Moose a B.
Here's another maybe possible S tier. Okay, the Mariners, or the Marlins, Marlin, and it's like a plastic head. It's not even like a furry looking one. It looks more plastic.
Yeah, it looks like an old man who retired in Miami. Like an old Marlin that retired in Miami. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
I just like the way it looks a little bit. It's just so creepy looking.
Yeah, it really does look weird. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's go in the order that you have it. Let's keep doing that way.
All right, the order I have. The order I have it. The next one technically would be the Twins, which looks like it's just a bear.
Yeah, the Twins. I try to map because on my screen I got Give me a second to. Yeah, it's just a bear. What does that have to do with the Twins? D.
And then now I don't even know what team this is. It's just an M, and it looks like it's a old school wooden beer thing.
I don't even know what team that is either.
I don't know what team this is.
That's a really weird.
Are you have the stream pulled up? Can you see what I'm even showing?
Yeah, I can see it.
What is that?
I don't know what that is. I don't know what team that is. I'm trying to look up. That's why I have like another list, see if I have the team like would pop up. But yeah, I don't even know what team that is. I would think Brewers, but I don't. The Brewers already have one, so I don't know why that would be. Because it looks like a beer can to me. I don't know if it looks anything different to you.
No, the Brewers one was the weird dude with the mustache.
I'm saying the logo that you're looking at that we can't identify, it looks like almost like an alternate Brewers logo or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what that is, bro. Let's just skip that one.
Okay, the next one is the Cub, whatever.
Yeah, D.
D?
That looks cheesy.
I mean, theirs makes sense. They're the Cubs.
Okay, fine. C.
All right. I was gonna give him a B.
Okay, fine. Let's give him a B.
I know we can give him a C. We'll put him atop a C though, because at least he makes sense. Then we're on some type of St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah. I mean, I give them points for originality. You know, because of like the weird like tassels on his arm and stuff. You know. What do you think? I think B.
Yeah, we go B.
Yeah, let's go B.
And then after that, we got Cleveland Reds.
Yeah, that's a derivative of Mr. Met, right? No, that's a different one. Sorry. The only other one that I have to sample for S tier, yeah, Mr. Red, whatever it is. Yeah, but I don't know. Put him at S. Or sorry, C. I mean.
No. He's not that same one. I see the one that you're looking at. This is a different. He's like this one's like must be a more. Cause I see Mr.
Yeah, this is not the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a separate list pulled up too to double check the names and stuff. But the one I'm seeing on Wikipedia is not the same as the one they have here. So this one looks very similar to the formerly known as Indians, now Guardians. So we're gonna put them next to that because they kind of look the same anyways. And then we got the Pirates have what looks to be like the bird that a pirate would have, which is kind of.
Yeah. What did you think about that one?
I mean, it would have been. It would have been easier to just do a pirate, like a big giant pirate.
Yeah, but it
like
might scare kids. I think they were thinking it might scare kids, so why not do like the parrot or whatever it is off of it, like the bird, and then it's more kid friendly. I think it makes sense as a thing for kids,
So be it.
Yeah, I'll give it a B.
I don't think it's. Oh, B. My bad. Yeah, I put an A. B. Because there's no way it's an S. Right.
There's only one other one that I can think of that might qualify for the S tier when we get to it. That's it. But that's yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go with, and I saw his name right here. He has a great name too.
Okay, so it's Brewers. Addy was saying in the chat, it's Brewers that one that we were looking at, I think earlier with the little thing, the beer.
The beer can.
Yeah.
Billy the Marlin, dude, for the Miami Marlins, dude. His name's Billy the Marlin.
This is an A.
All right. Let me at least let me put him up there real quick. It's just such a good looking head, man. All right, we're on.
Not just the head; it's that he's a little bit overweight too. Like he's weirdly like misshaped as a mascot.
Some of these I think are doubles. Like this is a squirrel, and he's wearing what looks to be a Cardinals shirt. But didn't we do the Cardinals? Yeah, we did the Cardinals.
Yeah,
so you can't have two Cardinals. You're going in D. These guys also D. Those are the dudes that run around the thing. D. Okay.
Those are Brewers, the Brew Crew. Yeah, put them in D too. Yeah.
What's the W on the hat?
Washington Nationals.
Yes. That's what that says. Nationals. The Washington Nationals. It's an eagle, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense for Washington. It is an eagle. That's what
But
it is.
like,
I think it's
okay, it's not Washington State. This is D.C., correct?
yeah. That's why it makes sense to have eagles.
Because, but here's the thing. Does it? Because aren't eagles more? Wait, eagles don't live in that zone. Where do eagles live?
They don't live in that zone, I don't think. But the point is, they're associated with America and presidency and Washington D.C. So I think it makes sense for them to have a bald eagle in Washington D.C.
Yeah, I guess, but eagles are found more over like here, like Sierra Nevadas. It'd be.
I know, but they're
All right,
also
all right,
they're also our national
all right, all right, all right,
logo,
all right, all
like
right, all right, all right.
logo.
Where are we putting the eagle?
Huh?
Where are we putting them?
Let's put that D. Or no, C. C is fine. Let's put a C. C is good.
Bottom of C.
Bottom of C. Yeah, bottom of C. But it's
Actually,
C,
you know what? I'll put them next to the Cubs Bear because it kind of makes sense. Okay, the Blue Jay for the Blue Jays. That one, that's a pretty good home run.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's exactly what the logo is. I don't know. B. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll put them with the other two birds. And that there's two of them. Whoever made this list kind of messed up. There's one where he has a son.
Yeah, that one. Angry Bird.
The sun looks really creepy. All right, now we have a cat. I don't know what team this cat. Yeah, I don't know what team this cat represents.
I don't know what that represents either. I think we'll just have to put that in D because I don't know what team that is.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on my other mascot list.
Yeah, let's just move on to the next one. Orioles.
Where do we?
Right?
Did we put the horse somewhere yet? Oh no, the horse is still coming up. Because that horse is so like it's kind of fun. You know, like when two people make a horse, like the cartoon style. All right, the cat's going in D. He'll go above these people. He'll go above the squirrel. That's going at the bottom too. Because the squirrel's just so stupid. What? Okay, we got. Is this the Orioles?
Yeah, it's the brown and orange and black, bro. That's Orioles.
And he's supposed to be
Oriole.
a bird.
He's a Baltimore Oriole. That's what the birds. He is a. That's representing the team.
Compared to the other bird mascots, his face is very awkward.
Yeah, it looks like very billed. Like he has a big bill or something. It's just weird. His distinctive colors, Orioles is I think a really cool name. I really like that for the team and all that. I'll give it a B.
Okay. We'll put him above Blue Jays.
Okay.
I don't know what this scruffalufus looking guy is right here. It looked like his shirt says Rays.
Yeah, it's Tampa Bay Rays.
But then next to it is another Ray.
Yeah, they have. So that one that's next to it, if I remember correctly, it was like a funny one. Like it was someone who was saying this should be the mascot or something. There's a little story behind it. Yeah, they do just have multiple mascots. Never mind. Yeah.
Oh, and the cat also is Rays. That cat is. He's still staying in D.
Yeah, still staying in D. I would say this for the Rays. The blue Rays mascot, like the one the first one right there that you have, that's a D because that's Philly Fanatic. Just carbon copy. The other one, I'll give it a C. Because that's actually like to your name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll go. You want to go C? I'll go almost B for that one, bro.
Yeah, let's get B. Let's get B. It looks fun. It looks like a happy Ray.
I'm gonna put him high B too. I'm gonna put him next to the moose. He's just
okay.
There's something about that face.
Yeah,
I bet you that one wasn't practical because it looks really wide.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the issue. Okay, now we got the Boston, and the Boston's one of those teams that has two. It has a male and a female.
The Green Monster one. For me, the name of it is iconic because the Green Monster is pretty iconic, right? But the mascots themselves don't look all that great. I don't know. I feel like that's a B or maybe. Why you want to go A? I don't know.
No, I think B for both. We'll put the boy and the girl, but I'm gonna put them at bottom of B, only because they're just at the bottom. Now the horse. And it's Texas, and you think horses when you think of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a B. It kind of fits in line with the tiger and Lucille, where it fits the city in the zone that they're in. Because when you think horses, you think cowboys, you think Texas.
Yep.
It all kind of goes together there.
I think it's a high B, maybe even an A.
I mean, oh, that's what I meant. My bad. I meant A. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an A. I'll
Put
give it
it at the
no
bottom
problem.
A. Billy the Marlin fish is still. I almost want to put him in the top A. I'm really digging. His face is just
Let's put him
amazing.
top A. Yeah, put him top A.
He's just amazing, man. He's amazing.
He's great.
All right. Asteroids.
Okay.
They went with like a Martian.
Yeah, it's it has the Martian thing, so it totally fits what they are, right? Now it has also I know it has a Philly fanatic look and its fuzziness, but it looks like a Martian.
With the ears, the weird ears, yeah.
Yeah, the weird ears. I just think they got this one right, given the team name, all that kind of stuff. The Astros is a great name for Houston because of space shuttle, all that kind of crap, right? Space station, whatever the fuck it is. Bro, I think A, and I don't know. I don't think it's S, but I think it's A.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think A. I also now I read Addie's comment.
Horse looks like Joe Campbell. That's a great line, by the way.
But I read his also about the Brewers one. The Brewers one we might need to bump up to B. I was being harsh on it because I didn't know what team it was, but now it's Brewing, and he's like a giant beer container.
Yeah.
He might be high B too because it is very creative. It just looks goofy as could be.
It does. It just looks weird.
It's a very goofy looking one. All right, now we have some type of cat, and he's not even wearing. He's got American flag shorts. I can't tell what stadium he's in. I don't know what team he's representing. It's pretty generic looking.
Yep.
I'm gonna go D, top of D.
Yep, I like that.
Actually, I'll go after the two creepy, the cat and the other one that the Rays did. The Rays had too many, though. And then I'm going to have to give it to, and I saw his name a second ago. Where was it? He had a cool name. The Dino. Digger the Dino, I think it is.
Oh, the one for Colorado Rockies? Yeah, I think that's
It makes no sense. Oh, okay.
Dude, I just think
it's just so random.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of bizarre, Rockies, and I don't know why. But it's a fucking goofy purple dinosaur. What's not to like about it? It's totally different to any other team, you know?
All right.
I don't know. I think it's A. Let's put it A then instead of S.
No, we can put it S. I like it. We'll throw them up in S. Let's go over what we got so far. We got Stomper, which is us being obviously biased, but come on now. Stomper is just amazing. I mean, it has nothing to do with Oakland or wherever I think the A's were originally from Philadelphia. There's no elephants in America, so it has nothing to do with anything, but it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Philly Fanatic. Then we got the Mets guy, who is a classic.
Yeah.
Then
dude. He's a classic.
We got the Padre. The Padre just looks hilarious. His face is so goofy. Then we got the Dino, Digger the Dino. And then in A, we got the Marlin. We got Lucille. We got the Tiger's Tiger. We got the Texas Horse. The Asteroids Martian. And then after that, it kind of just, let's just say, it starts to just become kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
I will say
all the derivatives of the shit that you just saw, that you basically just lifted off, is just shitty derivatives of Philly Fanatic.
Or the Mets, Mr. Baseball or whatever. I will move up the Brewers one because that is they were trying something. They were trying something. And I also think that if we're going to adjust real quick a little bit, we should bump up the Pirates guy because I mean the bird ones all should get bumped a little bit in front of these other ones because the teams are named after birds, and then they just like the Blue Jays, the Cardinals, and the Orioles, really, they're all bird named.
To me, now looking at it, the most egregious probably mistake maybe is putting the Kansas City Royals down there at D. Because they tried. They really tried with that mascot. It's shitty looking, but they tried.
It's just weird because it's not a lion wearing a crown. The crown
No,
is part of his head.
his head. But I think it's worthy enough to get to C.
He was in C. We bumped him to B just now.
Sorry. That's good. That's fine. Yeah,
We'll put him bottom of B.
Unique. It's unique.
It's unique. It is unique. I think what we're really saying. Well, then too. I mean, dude, I feel like looking at C seems pretty good. Looking at, my bad. B seems pretty good. Looking at C though, I do think I guess it's 2 on the nose. The Cubs one, because he is a bear. Cubs.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll leave him. It's like the Twins don't deserve, like, the Twins and you're a bear. That doesn't make any sense. Get out of here.
Yeah, I know. I don't get that one.
Like
Twin cities, it should be something like that, or lakes, be like a body of water.
And like the White Sox, how don't you just make your thing a giant walking sock? A creepy looking sock. Well, I guess you don't want to go creepy.
You gotta have like kids want to like hug them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, but some of these weird monster looking folk, they're creepy looking.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I think Lucille, the tiger, the asteroids dude, the Padre guys kind of seems weird to kids to be hugging.
Yeah, he's weird. He's like, like especially all the stuff coming out of the church.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Stomper looks friendly. Stomper also has different outfits for different events. It's great, man. I'm sure they all do. I'm sure they all have different outfits for different events. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. I mean,
Addy made a good point. He was like, there might be cooler mascots in college, which I was like, yeah, there might. So I think that could be true. Because there's so many more animals in college,
But the thing is, Addy, there's a
lot. Addy made a good point about the Minnesota one. You see that? Yeah, Minnesota Wild logo is also a bear, so maybe to keep it, uniform throughout the city. Although hard to keep it uniform when your basketball team's the Timberwolves. But yeah, maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I get it, Ad, but it just there's too many bears.
When you really look at it in baseball, when I was thinking and we were doing this list, I was thinking, there's going to be a lot of like iconic mascots. The reality is, bro, it's Philly Fanatic, Mr. Met are like just the 2 most iconic American mascots, and everyone else is just playing
I mean, I'm gonna always be a local guy. I do think that.
Yeah, I'm saying like nationally,
Yeah, nationally, I get it. But I do think Stomper, because the logo, if I'm not mistaken, I think that the elephant came from back in the day before they moved here, right? When they were in Philly, because the Athletics are originally from Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or the Warriors in Philadelphia. I don't know.
Addy,
I don't know. Anyway.
I'm just saying, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're from Philadelphia. Yeah.
I think our list is pretty good. Yeah. We can come back and visit it. If somebody has issues with it, please leave in the comments. We're open to suggestions. This is just what we're feeling right now. We'd be easily talked into changing some stuff around. I'll download this, save this, post it, and we can come back to it again. I really wanted to get to, and we'll have to do this. I think this is more interesting, the jerseys. I really think the jerseys is more interesting. Yeah. And when I looked at it too, Siddhuey, the thing I noticed was, well, this can't be all the jerseys too. Like, where's the Yankees? Like, the Yankees don't even have the iconic pinstripes. This list might be wrong. This list might be missing teams.
It might be the newer Nike jerseys, like the City Edition Nike jersey that they have, which are a little bit different. So they might not be the real ones. We can find a
different list, yeah.
Yeah, it's MLB jerseys, bro. It's
yeah. The Yankees one is a solid color. It's stupid.
You know what? We really shouldn't do jerseys. We should do logos.
Okay.
MLB to me is way more known for like logos, like the Yankees logo or like the Mets logo, something like that, than it is even jerseys to some degree. I mean, the pinstripes are iconic, but I don't know.
All anyway. Right. Well, we've gone over our time span.
Yeah.
But that was fun. We wanted to have a little fun with baseball, lighten up the mood, especially after talking about the poor A's leaving. So we figured, hey, originally we're going to do jerseys. Addie suggested mascots. We took Addie's suggestion. So shout out to Addie for the suggestion. Hope everyone enjoyed the show. We'll be back. I think we're going to do more. We'll do at least we're going to do another episode on MLB. There's more to. I feel like there's more to dive into.
We'll have to talk about basketball next week as free agency is wrapped up pretty much by the time we do next week, and so we'll have a chance to like reset on the rosters. So we'll kind of have a chance to like. It'll be like, I mean, it won't be a full preview. It'll be like, oh, this team looks decent, this team doesn't, whatever, so on and so forth. So
maybe we'll do that, and maybe we'll do the baseball jersey tier list.
Yeah.
Do a little.
Yeah, we could do that.
We could do a little basketball, or maybe what to do. Maybe we do basketball logo tier list. NBA logo tier list. I'm sure that exists.
I'm down for that. Yeah. Let's do something. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. That was another episode of the Siddhuey Reviewy. We will be back next week with more sports talk. Until then, have a good time. We got to come up with a sign out.
Yeah.
Until then, keep swinging.
Hi, neighbor. Yeah. Keep on swinging.
Keep on swinging. I don't know. That's just baseball. Keep juggling them balls. I don't know. All right.